some minor damage to the box. I don't think that's going to be a big issue. I'm not quite sure what this stain is here. That looks like a water stain. Anyway, we'll see. Smashed here, UPS. It's actually already tore out here, these staples. Either that or they didn't really go through all the way. They probably didn't go through all the way, that's why the tape is there. One thing I am going to do that I've seen other people not do, and this has bitten before, I'm going to pull these staples completely out. I've cut the back of my hand unboxing things before with these staples, so I'm not going to mess with it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see a lot of damage. Another thing a friend of mine once told me is that gravity is your friend. What that means is you don't fight gravity, you use it. Or in other words, you take the box off of the heavy thing instead of trying to take the heavy thing out of the box. Much easier. Pedals, and toolkit, reflector, looks like a charger, user manual. I'll let it use the user manual. I will probably have to read it to run the controls. I bet you money they don't have a pair of dikes in here. They're diagonal cutters. Alright, let's see. I have a pair of scissors on there. A Gerber Legend multi-tool, which can actually cut these wire ties, but kind of hard on them. Buy this, Ancheer didn't send it to me. I have no, what do they call it, skin in the game. I don't really care. This will be an honest review. I've seen some where they send them pre-buy and then they do a review. Yeah, I really touch those. I actually had a e-bike that I bought before, which was a 24 volt ran on UPS batteries. I believe it was originally bought in Walmart. And this is why I don't play sports. Anyway, I used to ride that. It's actually quite a bit of fun. It wasn't very fast, but the electricity, the power actually really helped when it hills forward. So one time I took it out and went around a corner too fast because it was on the bike. And it kicked out from under me with skinny tires. And hurt my wrist. And it hurt for like 6 months. So that wasn't a lot of fun. Actually looks relatively surprisingly well built. I used to ride my bicycle to town, to school every day, 8.5 miles. I used to like to say that 8.5 miles uphill both ways. And then I had a friend of mine give me the best answer I've ever gotten for that one. I told him I used to ride my bicycle to school, uphill both ways. And he said, boy, were you stupid. Which implies, of course, that if I'd been smart, I would have just turned around with the other direction and be downhill both ways. Apparently the handlebar was laying on the horn, that's why I was beating it. Got a notch in there, so you can only put it in one way. I think it looks pretty nice little mechanism there. Got a little articulated thing, plastic catch. This looks pretty well built. I'm going to leave this foam on here because I'm going to flip it upside down to work on it. I also bought a pad. I also bought a Rad Power Bike Rad Mini, and the assembly video for that shows him assembling it right side up, which is silly. Again, gravity is your friend. Let's put this puppy over. When I originally filmed this yesterday, the camera didn't record the front tire. That's a really important part of assembling this, so I'm going to redo it. The first thing you need to do is take this bolt that they put on here. This keeps the forks from bending in and out when they're being shipped. That's very important. You have to take that off. The next thing you've got to do is put the fender on. This is a little splash guard thing which always goes in the back. If you look back here, it's in the back on the one that's already on there. If you look over here, you've got a bolt right here that goes right there, and then two bolts right here. I don't like the way that they've got these right here. If you go on the outside of the little tab, you bend this cable over a little bit. So what I'm going to do is actually put these on the inside of the tabs there. The forks look like steel, so these little tabs are about a little less than 1/8 of an inch thick, and they're threaded. Fairly strong. This one over here actually came bent a little bit, which is not a big deal. I didn't want to wail on it and bend it back, so I just let the bolt tighten down and bend it straight a little bit. Now, one thing I noticed yesterday is when I put the fender on, I had to come back to put the light on and take that bolt out again. So on this time, I'm going to just do them both at the same time. We'll start. It's very important not to cross-thread these things. You should be able to do about 2 turns by hand before you put a wrench on it. Otherwise, you're going to screw stuff up. Here's a little light. It's got a nice metal bracket here. The nice thing about the metal bracket is if it's pointing in the wrong direction, I can just bend it a little bit. Now, one thought is to put the metal bracket here and then to put the fender on top of that. However, when I had the wheel on yesterday, it was actually quite a bit closer, about a 1/2 inch closer to the front than it was on the back. So the fender goes underneath the bracket for the light. You know, Norm Abrams, New Yankee Workshop, used to always do things twice. He would do the original assembly, learn everything you need to know, and then he'd actually film it. It's not a horrible idea, but I don't have to do everything twice. So see, I'm fingering it. I'm threading it on my hand, fingering it on. So I know it's not cross-threaded. And then you can tighten it down with the wrench. The 10mm wrench here is actually a pretty good wrench. Nice shiny chrome. The others are just stamped cast stuff, which is odd because they take a lot more force. And when you tighten these down, you want to go most of the way in by hand, and then the last few turns with the wrench. And you don't want to strip it, but you want it tight enough that it's not going to work its way loose from the vibrations. So as far as you can go by hand, and then tighten the rest of the way with the wrench. I'll give you foot-pounds, but it really doesn't matter. There's a large envelope of torques. There's the minimum needed to not vibrate out, and the maximum that would strip the hole out. As long as you're somewhere between those, you should be fine. So this is actually bent a little bit. Not a big deal, it's twisted. Now the wheel, what I found yesterday doing this here, the easiest way to do it is to take these nuts and these little lock washers off completely. Sorry for all the jets and car noise. I live by a military base. So you want to put this on here, and of course the disc has to slip into this. Waiting for the jet to go over. You can't fly the jet, just wait. So put the washer on, the little tab goes in the hole there. You thread this on by hand again. So you see how easy it goes on? Just go on very easily. Spin up all the way with your finger. Spin up all the way by hand. You want to tighten everything down as much as you can by hand. Put your 15 again. Now, you want to make sure it's level, straight, in the middle, spins freely, doesn't drag too much on the disc, and then tighten this down and this down, and that'll fix everything in place. So everything's in place. These aren't really tight enough, but it's not going to move when you tighten down the rest of the way. If you just tighten down one side, the other side will wiggle around on you. So you want to snug both sides a little bit. You want it pretty snug. The little clips here, what they do is if this actually comes loose, the wheel is not going to pop out. You're not going to lose the front wheel going down the road. Alright, there we go. For this side. I already put this in here once. This stuff looks like I want to stay in there. Ah, the seat's tore up. You got poked. This I was wondering, oh, that's what this is. They even sent a screwdriver. I was wondering what that was. I got a little nut here. I'll put my finger over it so I don't drop it on the ground and never find it again. Power. Universal circle and line power button. Let's see. When it's off of the. Yep. Mode. Plus. It should have a throttle only mode. No lights. Throttle only mode. I don't even need to read instructions for this. I've got 4/5 of a charge. Where's the key for? Battery? Must be inside here. Yeah, there's a key in here. I guess that's to remove the battery so people don't steal your battery. That's a good idea. This little clippy thing keeps this from popping out while you're driving, so it needs to be tight enough not to just slide around, so I'm going to tighten that just a hair. You want it tight enough you can still move it. So other than the little thing on the seat here, looks like it came pretty good, and I'm right. That's actually really nice. The pedal assist doesn't kick in for probably about 2 rotations. However, it does kick in. The throttle by itself, of course, for a big guy like me, doesn't go very fast. all in all, not bad. After I get a couple hundred miles on it, I will give a review.